What's up, people? It's another edition of the New Breed Podcast, the world's best new metal podcast from two dudes who are really there. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I was really there. Tim didn't even hit puberty yet. Tim wasn't there yet. Tim wants to make old guy jokes about me. I'm going to throw it around back on him. Tim wasn't old enough. So I'm one
Oh
happy you're
shit.
hosting
Whoa, whoa,
to.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on a second here. Hold on a second here, buddy. I was 12 when the first Corn record came out. I was there.
Still pushing the skateboard.
Hell yeah. I was still pushing the skateboard at 20 something.
All right, so we're now that we've got the insults out of the way, I'm gonna have your host do a Jay Horsecow with me. Obviously, I am notorious TMM, Tim Anderson Jr. And joining us once again, it's been quite a minute actually. We have
Yes.
the moderator extraordinaire from r/new metal, which is ground zero of the new metal revival. We have Shawn. Shawn, thank you so much for joining again.
I'm so happy to be back. It's like seeing some old friends. It's just great.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
I love talking to you guys.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. So I mean,
Yes.
Shawn, I noticed the other day when I logged in, there's something like 70,000 people. Is it really that much? And there's usually
72.
triple
Yeah.
digits
Yeah.
active at any given time, which is kind of wild for what I would call probably one of the nicest places on Reddit. Like
I
nobody's
know.
like it's kind of impressive.
It's like I think that my biggest fear with the growth of the subreddit was that we were just going to start attracting like the negative, gatekeepers and assholes over the internet, and they were going to
Mhm.
take over. And when that happens, like a friend of mine, we moderate the new metal subreddit, but we were asked to kind of help clean up the grunge one, and we're like, hey, let's see what we can do. And we went in, and it was just like, that meme from like Community where like, that guy comes out with like a pizza and he's like,
And the room is on fire.
yeah, the room's on fire. That's what it felt like. I'm like, I don't even have a fire extinguisher, man. Like, I can't do this. I'm gonna go back to my cozy little couches and chill out over there. You guys got this, right? And then like that was it. So I think I was afraid of it, but then I think we've been able to maintain that positive attitude. Because like when someone comes in and says like, has anyone heard of this band or this band? It's a lot of like, you know, everyone's kind of like sharing these memories of these old bands that they enjoy, which is awesome. And then you hear people going, I've never heard of 40 Below Summer or American Head Charge or Ultraspank. And you're seeing people kind of come on to these bands
Mm.
that we loved. Yeah, sure. I wish there was like more sharing of newer stuff, but like that comes and goes. We understand we're a little bit more of a nostalgia
Right.
subreddit than any place else. The new stuff is kind of, come and go, but yeah, I still love it there. I'm
I
happy.
will say this though, Show. There are occasionally, and I've been busy with work, and I know Tim's busy, so we don't get a chance to post as much as we'd like. But there are times I've gone on and said, if this, then that. If you like this, then you'll like that, or check out
Mm,
this new band. And nine
hmm
times out of ten, it gets a positive response. Typically, the funny thing is, typically one of the old heads comes out of the woodwork
I
and
know.
was like, "Hey, this band sounds like old school Godflesh," and like it's always
Yeah.
a reference that you're like, "Man, this dude's at least as old as I am."
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
it's very much you're right. It very much is a nostalgia page, but at the same time, there is a fair amount of open mindedness. You're right. This subreddit is nothing like some of the other ones I've been on, where
Ooh, the
it's just
hardcore one is brutal.
oh, it is brutal.
Yeah,
The hardcore
yeah.
one is brutal. Like, I mean, and the thing is, so before we started recording, we started talking about, internet culture in the early aughts and when message boards started. And I
Mm,
was telling Shawn and Tim about the first time I ever posted on Lamb Goat. The first response I got was, "This post sucks. You suck. Kill yourself."
yeah.
And that was my introduction to internet culture, message board
Uh,
culture.
yeah.
And it'd be different if r/hardcore was like that. If it was the old Bridge 9 board, PA hardcore, Lamb Goat stuff. Instead, it's really this kind of screwy amalgamation of whiny people and somebody just trying to troll, but it's not like when someone's trying to troll you and it's truly like they're truly trying to get your goat.
Well, I think,
Like, but when it's half-assed, you're like, yo,
yeah.
put in some effort.
I think the thing is that like when a bad subreddit or message board, discussion boards gets overrun by just annoying people, the old dogs just kind of leave. They go like they look
Yeah.
out their window and they go like, that seems better. and then they do that, you know, and then
Mhm.
it starts to get overrun and oversaturated with the mutants. So what the thing with those old discussion boards is you had those old dogs who just kind of like kept the corral. They kind of like they like
Uh-huh.
get back on board, you know, and then you were able to kind of like keep things on track and things didn't go crazy. But those guys would get burnt out, leave, and then the inmates run
Right.
the asylum. Uh, R slash hardcore is like the biggest asylum.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
really
every
is.
source of just annoying character on the internet, just like literally in the metaphorical mosh pit where it's just you know it's all happening. So when it's nice to just pop your head in every once in a while and go like, holy shit, like you know see how they react to this or that, you know, because when something in news and hardcore happens, you kind of want to like jump in. If there's like a reunion show or something,
Hmm.
you want
Hmm.
to see what the discussion is. But then you just scroll for a little bit. You're like, what the fuck is this place?
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Knock Loose
Yeah.
being on Jimmy Kimmel
Yeah.
brings
Yeah.
all the mutants out of the
Yeah.
woodwork. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
literally the sewers back up and they flood it. It's kind
I
of
mean, shit,
amusing.
it happened to us too. And when the Lincoln Park thing happened, we were like, we went on to the Discord, and I was like to the mods, I was like, all hands on deck, man. I don't know what's gonna happen. And then sure enough, it was mayhem, and we had to kind of corral things a little bit. But you know, the dust cleared, thankfully. But yeah, every genre seems to have that moment where, you know, people have opinions. It's fucking internet. What are you gonna do?
And the funny thing is, to your point about Lincoln Park, you know when it's coming. Like you can see it
Yeah,
coming where you're like,
you're
oh
like, oh
Christ.
shit.
Yeah, here we go.
And
Yeah,
to this day, I still don't know how to use Discord. I open it and I go, "What the fuck is this shit?" And I just can't. I just X right out of it.
I same. Like I come into ours every once in a while, and I just kind of poke in and be like, is everyone being good? Is everyone behaving?
It's
Good. Hey, we have a spine
it's
shank AMA
overwhelming.
coming. Yeah, that's it, and
Yeah.
then I'll get out. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple of professional ones I use, and it can be a little bit overwhelming, and it's
Hmm.
almost impossible to. I have all the notifications turned off because it's impossible. Like random
Totally.
people talking random shit in random
Yep.
rooms, you're like, what the fuck? I can't. Why
Yeah.
is my phone still beeping? It's like, yo, why is this guy asking for a recipe? It's like, yo, what? What
Yeah.
is this? Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I just don't know how to use it. Like it's just super strange, and I just go, "Eh."
I will
Yeah.
say the one nice thing that Slack had, which unfortunately Teams has eaten Slack's lunch, and it's shame on Slack, the ability to thread replies. So like if you
Mm-hmm.
post an album,
And then go
I could then
down.
go into a thread and then we can nest all the comments under that thread, right?
Yep.
But even that, like sometimes you lose. I have some banger responses where I've lit people up and it just gets lost, and you're like, shit,
Mm-hmm.
how did nobody see that? You
Yep.
know?
Yeah. Just gets buried. And
Yeah.
but I think that's the big thing. It happens so quickly. We're a bunch of old people just talking about, yeah, my old day of the internet. But like it really does. Like I feel like this new kind of like quick ADD kind of culture that's happening. It is happening so fast that I'm just kind of like, it's not for me. And I'm okay
Right.
with that. And then I'll
Right.
just kind of let it be its thing. I'm aware of it. I'm aware that it's just pretty much like a hyperactive chat board. And then that's it.
Speaking of old guys and not being for me, I take it both of you have seen the post of the pictures of the new Il Nino merch being sold at the newest at the shows.
No.
No.
Oh my
Tell me about it.
God. Oh, it's the first response was something along the lines of what in the Vistaprint fuck is this?
It's that bad?
Oh, it's like
Yes.
string backpacks and like water bottles and like it looks ghetto. It looks
What in
ghetto as all
the
hell.
is the Brit shit is
Yeah,
It's terrible. Terrible.
the sad thing with that band too is that like
Date.
Ever since Christian
Yeah.
left, it kind of has been this um like creature that's just kind of like its eyes falling out and its arms broken and it's just
Yes.
like looking up at you going, kill me. But it's still going, you know?
Yeah,
They promised a
yeah.
double album.
I really do think, there are history will not be kind to some of these band guys who have proven to be like terribly toxic and they basically ruined their own legacy. It's like,
Mm,
uh, can't you just swallow your like Tim and I? Well, here we go. We'll go back to the conversation du jour, right? Sepultura.
yeah.
Can't Andreas and Max just swallow their egos long enough to like, yo, the fans want to see us play together one last time before one of
Hmm.
us dies?
Right.
Can't we we'll get separate tour buses, we'll pull the Motley Crue thing,
Yeah.
but can't we just put together one last tour where we just play greatest hits of the first 5 albums? I mean, it's like, come on, you're
They
ruining your
would
own
make so
legacy
much
here.
fucking money, you know?
Yes.
They would make so
Yes.
much fucking money all over
Yes.
the country.
Yes,
You-
I mean, look at what Pantera drew. Look at what Metallica's drawing for their next
Right?
2 days in a row. Like
Yeah.
look at what fucking Slipknot. The
Yeah.
Slipknot reunion tour. I
Yeah.
texted Tim. I was like, "Yo, I am on the lawn and it is standing room only." It was nuts. When I saw Limp Bizkit this summer, it was
Mhm.
nuts. It's like
Yeah.
the old heads will come out of the woodwork because they've all reached middle age. They got a little bit of disposable income. You put
Mhm.
a good band in front of them, it's like,
Yeah.
yo, it's my childhood. I'm in.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then there was a dude who commented on our YouTube and was like, "You guys are nuts. That would not sell out." And it's like, well, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Kidding me? It would absolutely sell it. They'd be bumping themselves into bigger venues.
Yeah, it would
Do
sell out instantly.
do like a just test show in like Brazil
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
just see what happens. And just watch the place explode. And then just go out from there. Do a couple festivals here and there. Don't have to do a full tour. You don't need to like get kumbaya big time. But do enough to like where you could just get a huge crowd.
Yeah,
They
it's
could do a
just
warm up
like
show
Jay
in
said.
Phoenix near
Yeah.
Max's house, right?
Yeah.
Just do a club show, just a warm
Yeah.
up, and see how it goes. And I'll
Ugh.
bet you it's fucking insane. Look at not a band not even remotely close to popularity size. Dillinger did that house show in like Randolph, New Jersey,
Mhm.
for anybody that had tickets to the Philly date, and it was fucking bananas.
Yeah.
Like it was bananas.
Yeah.
We've reached the point where, I mean, I will say maybe this is one of the good things that came out of COVID is people realize that, it's not about having the album or the shirt. It's truly about the experience that you can look back on and say, yo, I was there. When that
Well,
shit shows up on YouTube, you're like, yo, I was there.
it changed, and I was just talking with someone about this too. It changed the definition of what a reunion really means anymore. Like,
Yeah.
so I think there was a definite version of what a reunion meant, which was like you do a tour, maybe you put out an album, and then maybe you sail off into the sunset. But now it's with hardcore and metal and everyone else, the way they're doing things, you can just put out a song and do 5 major cities. Like what
Mhm.
Hedomatica did. They went with Movie Life for like 5 dates, put out one song, and then Daryl's like, I'm good. And then went back and does whatever he does, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
You don't there's no like throw the rule book out. There's no blueprint for it anymore.
Right.
You don't
Exactly.
have to stick to a certain formula anymore.
Right.
You can do just kind of what fits for you because all these guys, it's like you said too, is it's like maybe their kids got older. They don't have to focus on family as much. They have a little bit more disposable income. They have time to go tour. Now you can do it.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Speaking of Glassjaw, I want to get into something real quick because I know we were gonna do like a year in review of new metal, which is
Yep.
actually a really cool idea. I'm glad that we talked about that. But Glassjaw touring with Poison the Well, dude. First of
Bought-
all,
Bought
I
my
had
tickets
no
today.
yeah, I had no clue that this was even announced. Jay was like, "Oh, did you see that?" I'm like, "What?"
Sean, watch the episode. What episode were we taping? Was it Steppa or was it the one we just did?
It was the one we just did.
We were taping it, and I'm like, yeah, Poison the Well is touring with Glassjaw, and they're playing opposite of December in full. Tim literally looks at the camera and goes, "What?"
Yeah, what?
And I'm like, yo, what? Are you under a fucking rock? Like, does
Yeah.
your phone not work? Like,
Last week I
Kidding
was
me?
under a rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I seen that Glassjaw was the co-headliner, and I was like, instant buy,
Yeah.
done.
Yep. Yep.
And then when Jay told me Teenage Wrist was playing, I was like, yeah, dude, that's an instant. That's
Teenage
instant.
Wrist, Better Lovers, Glassjaw, like Poison the
Yeah,
Well, doing
that's-
December, like
unbelievable.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like you said, like 'cause those are the ones where you're like, I was there. Like that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've never seen Glassjaw, so it's like I can't miss this.
I saw them the last time I saw them, and I think Shawn, we talked about this. I think it was the last time you were on. It was ages ago when they did that. They
The
did the double albums in full, where they
Yep.
did 2 separate sets. I thought they sounded fantastic. Here's my only complaint as a fan of Glassjaw, who I really, really dig their music.
Yep.
Not having Todd Weinstock there is definitely a negative because he did all that weird noodly experimental shit.
Yep.
That it's you can't reproduce it with a track. Now, not to talk shit, like they sounded fantastic. Daryl sounded fantastic,
Mm.
but there's just something missing with the guy who does all the weird noodly shit, especially with Worship and Tribute was full of that. So
Well, they definitely like, yeah, that was the thing with those, that weird thing with those two albums, because the dynamic of that, the band, the way the band was during those two albums, it wasn't just the Daryl and
right, Beck
what's his
show,
fit
yeah.
Beck show. It was a whole band. The drumming was awesome. The rhythm was great. The bass was amazing. Like it wasn't just them. Now it is, and it's just fine. I love like Coloring Book, and I love those EPs. The last one they put out was awesome. But to do those songs again and be like, it's just gonna be us two, and then these other guys. You're right. You didn't get the full real
Yeah, it wasn't the full
experience.
effect.
And
Yeah.
Daryl's getting older. He can't do some of those, hit some of those notes and have some of that insane energy that he had for Silence. So,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you got to hear those songs. Daryl did sound amazing, but yeah, you had to just kind of like temper your expectations and be like, I'm not time traveling.
Fair enough.
These
Fair
guys are
enough.
getting older. I'll experience it how I'm going to experience it. And the way, Tim, you're going to experience them is it you're just going to get, I mean, the iPod Shuffle. They're going to play the old stuff and they're going to play the new stuff, and
Yep.
but they've fine tuned it, so it's going to sound awesome. But it ain't
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
be
I'm
Good point,
fine
Shawn.
1998
with that.
cholesterol.
Good point. They
Yeah.
are infinitely tighter than they were back when they were young kids. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can tell they are musicians at this point. Like they're there to perform. Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
completely fine with the shuffle. I mean, because I missed out on it, when they were in their heyday. That's my
Mm-hmm.
fault. I mean, I might have even seen them and just don't even fucking remember, honestly, because I was always fucked up back then. But like, I mean, I'm completely okay with the shuffle. Like, and even on the new record, like, I forget what the song's called. I think it's track 2. That's like my favorite Glassjaw song of all time, honestly. I just forget what the fuck it's called.
Tim, you didn't catch them when they opened for the Deftones. I think it was the White Pony tour at the Electric Factory. Were you there for that?
I was, but I don't even remember if I seen them.
Man, you were that hammered. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that was a long ass time ago. Was that
Yeah, yeah, it was.
26 years ago?
Yeah, it was a long time.
Material Control, and the song Shira, I think.
Shira.
Yes,
There you go.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
Shira is a
I think that might be their
badass
best
song.
track. Yeah.
Yeah, so
That
good.
chorus is fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's whatever. I'm just going to be glad that I'm going to be able to see them. So hopefully, the tour sticks and nothing happens. So
So let me ask you this, Shawn. Do you think the popularity and resurgence of new metal is partly partly to blame for the resurgence popularity of the proto grunge movement? Like grunge
Uh,
coming back into sound? Do you think
so you're talking about like some of the Soul Blind
yeah, the Soul
stuff?
Blind and Teenage Wrist, like that
Yeah.
stuff where it's new metal had a moment and it came back into the zeitgeist and it started to become appreciated. Does the grunge revival happen without the new metal revival? My argument is I don't think it does.
No, and I think it's kind of like we're or new metal's that little like cancer dot on this cool like grunge moment where we're just kind of like, we're not going anywhere. You need us. Like you take me off, you're gonna die. you know? So it's like um think about like not only the sound but the album art, the way they
Mhm.
dress. They're just cherry picking the parts that they're not ashamed of enjoying and creating their own kind of Frankenstein of what they wish
Yeah.
that they could hear, whether so they'll take a little bit of Deftones and a little bit of Helmet and whatever, but they'll also take, Far and some trip hop stuff, some like Massive Attack and Portishead, and kind of create of whatever they want. And in my head, I'm thinking of Trauma Ray or something like that, who's just
yeah,
kind of
Mm.
like, like they even took a little bit of Corn. There's one song on there where I'm like, I hear Corn in this when they're getting heavy.
Mhm.
yeah. That
So
that
they
new
really
Trauma Ray's great, man.
amazing, one of my favorite albums of the year. But yeah, but they're not. I mean, obviously, they're not gonna achieve the level of popularity that genre was at the
Right.
peak.
Right.
But I think it's the thing. The thing is though, is that they don't have that pressure anymore. They can literally just do whatever they want now. New metal wasn't
Mhm.
ever really a genre to begin with. It was just unclassifiable bands that just were necessarily heavy at the time.
Mm.
So now they're just kind of like there's just such a wide swath of it that they can just kind of go, hey, yeah, you can fit us on. Who's So Blind just announced a tour with? Um,
Oh yeah.
Is it Static Dress? Is that them?
Yeah.
Static Dress. Static
Yes.
Dress is doing the same thing. They're taking
Mm-hmm.
maybe a little bit of new metal, but they're taking the Used and like Blood Brothers and well that kind of stuff and creating their thing. So and then Soul Blind. I saw Soul Blind with Helmet. Makes complete sense to me. But that was the thing with also with new metal bands too, is that they could kind of tour with anybody. You know, the Summer
Yeah.
Sanatorium was those a lot of new metal bands were opening for Metallica. So
I
bands were opening
just
for
was talking to
Slayer.
somebody about that, about how the final lineup of the Summer Sanitarium was Metallica, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Mudvayne, and was it Godsmack?
Probably,
It was
yeah.
somebody else who was it might have been System of a Down. It was straight new metal,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's like, well, it was just the thing. I mean, look at to your point about new metal bands being crossing over so many genres that they can sound with anybody. That Spirit Box tour coming up. It's Spirit Box, Dying Wish, Loathe, and Spy. Like
Right.
that is, I mean, that's a hell of a mixed bill in and of itself. Yeah.
But that's kind of like how, in my mind, that's what a good bill is. I don't want them
Yes.
all to sound the same. I
Yeah.
want Spy, who's just gonna like tear like my soul apart, it's just dirty, nasty, like punk
Mm-hmm.
shit. Loathe, a little bit cleaner, but like and more technical, but there's a little bit of that new metal stuff and but they're their own metalcore thing. Um and it's just kind of like they're all their own kind of structure and that's we're getting really good lineups. That's just like the one we were talking about with Glassjaw and
Yeah.
and Poison the Well. Like they're like, damn, that's good. So we're sitting pretty.
I wish that better. I wish Better Lovers was taken out and then you put Keith's band in. That would be like,
Many eyes.
oh yeah, that would
Yeah.
be that would have been the tour. That would have been the lineup for me. But I'll
Uh,
I'll I'll sit through Better Lovers and
I
I'll just
I
bullshit
like
around.
I like Keith's vocals. I like Keith's lyrics. I think the musically Better Lovers is better musically, but I think lyrically and compositionally, I think Many Eyes is better. So I mean, guys, get your shit together and bring back Every Time I Die. I
It'd be
mean,
nice. Yeah.
I mean, here we are. Um, so speaking of a band that just announced a reunion, where we'll talk about the collapse of Sick New World next. Snot doing some
Yeah.
shows.
Doing some shows and keeping
Mikey,
their vocalists secret.
yes, and Mikey Dolan coming out and saying, "Yo, this guy is good," and Toomer coming out and saying, "Yeah, the guy we found is good." So I'm optimistic, man.
So
Who do you
why
think
do
it's
you
gonna be?
Oh,
I
I
think
don't
it's
think it's going to be anybody we know.
yeah, I agree with Jay. Yeah, I don't know.
It's going to be a complete unknown.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I
Yeah.
like it better that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's
Then
gonna be
there's no pressure. There's no
right.
pressure on
No,
an
Mhm.
no
unknown.
preconceived notions. No, oh, this doesn't
Exactly.
sound like his old band.
I think what might be nice about this, because if it turns out the guy comes out and he does sound like Lynn, is is that I what I hope kind of happens is that the band takes notes from what Static X did. You know, they don't try to say like this is a replacement or whatever. I'm not saying that like this guy should put on a mask and like start like dancing around on stage, but they they love these songs. They can still play these songs. This
Mm-hmm.
guy can kind of like has enough energy is able to like pay tribute to the songs that Lynn wrote. And will they make new stuff? I don't know, maybe. But like, how great would it be if like, you know, Snot, you could actually see Snot and hear those songs like live again
Right, with the vocalist who pulls it off.
with the
Yeah,
vocals
yeah,
who pulls it off.
yep.
I'm gonna see it. Like I'm gonna do
Oh,
it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did the tour get announced?
No, they're not touring. They're doing like, is it Louder Than Life? And I think Aftershock. They're doing a bunch of those American festival dates.
Yeah.
So they'll see how that gets reacted to, and then they'll probably do like a 10-day tour or some shit like that.
I could see them doing major metros on the back of that.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
if
why
I'm
not?
if I'm running one of those festivals though, I kind of want to know what they sound like. So do you think they gave them like a sneak preview and was like,
Um,
or do you think Mikey was just kind of like, just kind of sweet talked it and was able to get maybe like a publicist who said like, "Hey, Snot's back. You want to get him
uh,
on?"
I think it probably was Mikey saying, "Look, we trust this guy. He's good. You're going to want to see this." Well, think about it this way: for the story alone, Shawn, it's going to sell, right? Because even if you go and it's god awful, like the band who shall remain nameless, who sung to a track the first "Sick New World," and it was painfully apparent to anybody who watched any YouTube videos, right? Like
Yeah,
that's the people talking about it is the marketing in and of itself.
true,
So
true. Yeah,
you're going to get an audience regardless. Now, if it's a flaming dumpster fire, I don't think it will be because I don't think these guys are getting off the couch. I think they're all kind of happy what they were doing.
yeah,
I don't think they're coming out and they're going to tarnish that name unless they have confidence that it's going to be good.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
that
I
band
agree.
a 4-letter word?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
Yes.
I know who you're
Um,
talking about.
yeah. So I mean, I hope it works out. Like I would love to see them again. Did you ever get to see them, Shawn, back in the day?
No, I mean, I was like 16, 17 when Lynn passed away.
Okay.
So yeah,
Tim?
wasn't it 98,
No.
right? Was it 98?
It was it 98 or 97? It
Let's look
was
it up
one.
because it's today. Today is
Oh,
the
it is
day.
today. Today's the anniversary, right?
Today is
That
the
was
anniversary.
that was the first time I ever learned of a celebrity death that I was legit upset. I remember going into the computer lab in college and trolling a bunch of news sites, and I forgot where I saw it that Lynn Strait and the dog were killed in a car accident, and I was like, "Fuck!"
Yeah,
Because at that point, Sonny Mayo had just rejoined the band, and they were doing some stuff with Ross, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like,
yeah. Could you imagine? Like, what could have been? It's
oh,
insane. But yeah,
it's a
but
shame.
98. Yeah, 98.
Okay,
Wow.
okay. So while we're on the topic, Sick New World, falling apart.
So why? Why do you think that is? And people say ticket like sales, but like it still has what had 4 more months to go. Like, what was going on?
The
I'm gonna say it right here.
Go for it.
I think that they veered too far off of what it should have been. I think that they had to pay Metallica and Linkin Park too much fucking money.
Yeah, I think you're onto something.
I think that they just couldn't comprehend being able to pay them to 5 million each and be able to pay the rest of the bands. Because look at the list. The list was fucking huge.
Yeah.
You got to pay concessions, your security. I mean, it wasn't feasible.
I would agree with Tim. I think and Metallica's also doing their own tour that
Yeah.
summer. So it'd be different if that was
Mhm.
the only if that was their only summer date, probably would have sold out quickly because all the Metallica fans would have went out and bought tickets. Right?
Exactly.
But it was $400 for one day, right? I
Oof.
paid five and change for two tickets for 2 days to see Metallica. Five and
Yeah.
change for basically what amounts to four shows.
Right.
I think owing them and Linkin Park 5 million each is huge. I apparently it only had at the point that they called the lid, it had only sold to 1/3 capacity.
Hmm.
And some of those bands, like you're gonna have to shell out for Acid Bath. You're gonna
Yeah.
have to shell out for Tomahawk.
You
You're
are.
gonna have to shell out for all the international bands. And we're not talking like, we're not talking no offense Static Dress. We're not talking Static Dress, right? We're not talking higher power. We're
Mhm.
talking Meshuggah and Refused to
Yeah.
start, right?
Yeah.
Big name bands, big draws. You have Tomahawk. You're gonna have to pay for a lot of those bands. So
You should have stayed in your lane and you
We got
should have made it fun. And
we
that's it.
missed out on cell phone video of Mike Patton standing on stage with Tomahawk, overhearing another band from across the way going like, "What the fuck is that? Turn that fucking shit off." Was it what band was it where he was listening? I think it was Foo Fighters, something like that. With a video of him just going
yeah,
like, "What the fuck
freaking
is that
out.
shit?"
Yep.
Freaking out. So funny.
Yeah,
I
I
love
think
him.
you're right, Tim. I also think one of the bigger problems was they didn't have a big enough undercard in the
Yeah.
sense of there's your
Hmm.
headliners, there's your top line acts who could headline in a pinch, there's your middle of the road stuff, and then there's your undercard. And their undercard, when you have Napalm Death as the second to last band listed on the flyer, oh no, no. Like you need a
Yeah,
healthy mix
it's
of
crazy.
brand new bands, quasi unknown bands. Like you need You need, because that honestly, financially, you need that distribution. And they had all big name acts who were going to draw money and require money.
I know, and I'm looking at it right now too, just like oh my God, like Mastodon, like this is middle of the road. Mastodon, Under Oath, The Hives, Mudvayne, Kitty, Machine Head. Like, I mean, I just saw Machine Head headline a festival and it sold out. So it's like,
I mean,
That's what I mean. And how much you gonna have to pay Machine Head? Probably 100K at least.
yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
I
Like
mean,
this is
And they got pyrotechnics and
adds.
shit.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
shit
I
adds
mean,
up quickly, man.
fuck filter, Cradle Filth coming up. Excuse me, Jesus, too much vodka. Coming from overseas. Gojira coming from overseas. Sisters of Mercy.
Yeah.
Meshuggah, Refused, Cannibal Corpse, Testament, big names, big draws. Terror, probably one of if not the biggest hardcore band going right now, right? You got Mayhem on there. You have Arch Enemy, third row from the bottom.
Yeah.
Quicksand, right?
Yeah.
Shriefels,
Yeah.
Mudvayne, Exodus. We can keep
3
going.
days
Static
grace
X.
times 2.
Yeah.
So like I mean,
I didn't even know what that meant.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
even let's be real. 311 tours every summer.
Yeah.
They do their summer fun times tours. I mean, the Flaming Lips does not fit. I'm sorry. Ministry,
That was hilarious.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no middle card. There's no undercard.
They just
There's
veered
no
off, man.
yeah. There's nowhere you
They
can
made a
shave some
mistake.
expense. Yeah,
But no one's
yeah.
going to admit to it because, you know, the ego gets killed right there. But, like, you just got to stay in your lane, dude. Like, make your headliners Mudvayne. Make your headliners fucking System, Deftones, shit like that. Like, you don't need Metallica on Sick New World.
Mm-mm.
You just don't need
That
it.
probably would have been the thing that kind of saved them is they took Metallica off, kept Linkin Park. Which, you know,
Keep Linkin Park. Yeah,
keep
they're
Linkin
putting a new
Park.
record. They put a new record out. The hype is there. Just
And
what are you
then
doing?
move Evanescence or Gojira to the first day. That's it. That was it. You really could have Queens, AFI, Evanescence, Gojira, any of those three, any of those guys, not three, but any of those guys could have filled that spot, and they would have been able to price.
I mean,
it.
I would argue that you
Gojira
could have,
fills that spot easily.
yes.
Easily.
I mean, I would argue you could have System of a Down headline every year, and
Yeah.
it would sell.
Yeah.
Every year, this is our headline show.
Yeah.
And it would sell.
Yeah.
And I was the one that would people were saying like no that they're not very yes they are and it proved my point when it got canceled, so whatever.
Yeah, it's I'm no, I mean, and on the off chance that the promoters or the organizers are actually listening to the show, come on, we'll give you your chance to defend yourself.
Right.
On that off chance, I do understand the difficulty and the work that goes into putting one of these things together, right? Like, I mean, I am still crushed. I still talk about the Psycho Las Vegas, when the last time I went, where I wished I'd gone the 2 previous years, and now it's no more because that's a fucking, it's a monster. 4 days, 5 stages.
Yeah,
that's a lot of work. And I mean, how the hell do you even break even?
But
True.
the thing with that is it's 4 or 5 days, but they don't have 3 headliners on one night. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, if Mayhem, Emperor, and we'll say Cannibal Corpse is in one night, people are only going to go for that one night just to see that 3-band lineup. You know what I mean? If the next night Primitive Man is the headline, they're going to be like, oh, I could see them in a club in fucking 2 weeks. You know what I mean? It's like they did it the right way. I don't know why they can't have another tour. Maybe it's just logistic wise, but like, it's just like they tried to cram all this bullshit in one day, and then they make the fans pick what they want to see. And it just doesn't, to me, it wouldn't be something I would be able to go to because I'd be like, I want to see Kitty, but then I want to see, you know, blah blah blah. It's like, what do I do?
The Birthday
here?
Massacre. I want to go over and check out some of the other shit that I've never seen before. We do have an episode coming up. It'll be out before this, where we had the Steppa guys come on, and they tried to change Tim and I's minds about our hot takes about why we hated the festival. And you know what? They got some good points in, right? Like, I forget what his name was, but he made the remark of, hey, I'm not like you guys. I'm not trying to see 8,000 bands. There's 5 bands on this lineup I really want to see. And for me, that's worth it. And you know what? If for that type of attendee, yeah, I guess it makes sense.
I think the Louder Than Life festival, I think that's the one. They literally genre size each stage. So
Yes,
you
that's
can,
the one where with I think it's Snot, Chimera, Union
yeah.
Underground, like all stacked against
I
each other,
remember
right?
looking at
Yeah.
that. I'm like, just like camp out. Just give me a
Yeah.
catheter bag, and and just
Yeah.
stick me right there. I know, but I'll be up front. So yeah, I think that's the way to go.
Absolutely, man.
And
Let's
then
get into
there
this.
will be other people who can kind of like bounce around, but like, yeah, I'm all right
Yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
yeah. Let's get in this next one. Lincoln Park. Plus, I just seen they've announced a 59 date world tour. That's fucking crazy, dude.
So great, and their openers. Like, look at
Oh
their
yeah.
Who's
their
their
open.
openers?
All right, so let me bring it up because they mixed up um like for each date they have a specific band. Um, so let's
I seen it earlier. I just forget every band's on. I think AFI is one of them, right?
AFI is one of them.
Yeah.
Sleep Token, Bad Omens, Helmet, Gene Dawson, or
Those are their
Jean.
openers.
Those are their openers. And then let's see the other world tour date: AFI, Architects, Grandson, JPEG Mafia, Paris with the V, Spirit Box.
So
Jesus.
that's big names, man. I
That's
mean,
Mm-hmm.
big names. And they're all different. Like fucking JPEG Mafia and Architects. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a wild one.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the sleep token is going to be all UK dates and
yep, you're right. Yep.
What's the festival that's got oh, I sent it to Tim. It was Chimera.
Oh, the Milwaukee
Oh,
one? I think in
I think
Milwaukee
it
Metal
was
Fest.
Chimera and Snot, and I sent it to Tim, and I'm like, yo, this is one day at
Mudvayne.
one stage at this festival.
Yeah, didn't it just happen though? It already passed.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Here we are, old guys talking about the internet. Where was it?
Yeah, I think you sent it to me in Messenger.
Yeah, it's I'm looking for now.
Yeah, that was a wild lineup. I was like, oh, I would love to see that. You're like, yeah, it already passed. Like, oh, of course. Speaking of
Rockville.
Chimera,
Oh, it was
yeah, there you go.
Rockville. So it was Korn, Marilyn Manson, Chevelle, Daughtry, Filter, Snot, and the Union Underground, all on one stage on one day.
Wow.
This and the next day, or there was a different stage, same day. Bad Omens, Mudvayne, Motionless in White, Seven Dust Chimera, Dry Kill Logic. Like
That's
what?
wild.
Yes.
Wow.
Why?
That's good shit
Why
right there.
couldn't? Why couldn't Sick New World pull that off?
I know.
They could
Right?
have.
Like
They could have. They just got too I'm trying to
I
think
think
of
they're
the
reaching
term.
too big for their britches. Reach
There you
exceeds
go.
They
grasp.
never try to
There
Whatever
you
it
reach
go.
is.
out. They didn't want to be they didn't want to be defined by like, hey, we're the new metal festival.
But what's
But
wrong with that?
yeah, like
Exactly.
the last time they
Exactly.
did the new metal industrial mix, the first year they did it, I was like, this is great. At first,
I
I
was
was
like,
like, it worked.
it worked. I think they found a sweet spot and they should have just stayed there.
I mean, even
Exactly.
last year, there I listened to I think it was Axe to Grind, which I really don't like, but I listened to it, and they were talking about how there was basically a hardcore stage at Sick New World, and it was close enough so there were people coming in and out of that hardcore stage while they were watching new metal, and bands like Drain and Tsunami and Code
Like
Orange,
Scowl was there
yeah,
too.
Scowl,
Yeah.
like I mean Kubla Khan, like these are
Yeah.
bands that have that quasi crossover appeal that
Yep.
yeah, I think they could probably pull some people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they failed on that. But Lincoln Park. So what do you, Sean? What do you think of the new record? I'm sure you listened to it.
I listened to it. It's all over the place. It's definitely all over the place. They definitely it seemed to me it was nice, but it was also a letdown in the way that like I understand what they were trying to do. This album felt like it felt like The Force Awakens, where
Oh,
they tried to take
mm,
everything that people love about Linkin Park, just like they did in Force Awakens with Star Wars. They try to take everything that people like. Oh, people like lightsaber battles, and people like
mm,
this and that, and people like this character and this character, and they like desert planets. We're gonna put a desert planet. They did the same thing with this thing. They like, oh, you like uh um one step closer, you like Faint, you like some of the older stuff and or the newer stuff. We're gonna cram it all together and it's one like 30-minute long album, and we're going to present our new singer that she has the range to handle Chester based songs that he otherwise would have kind of, knocked it out of the park. But it was like, we're going to make new songs, show you that she can kind of fit into those old albums. And then I have a feeling down the road, they're going to have a fully fleshed, full length LP that is them. This did not feel like an actual album. It felt like a greatest hits without the actual songs. Just copies of what the
Mm.
songs were supposed to be. So, I mean, Two-Faced is awesome. It's one of the better nu metal songs of the year. But it's also one step closer and fainting a little bit in this combination, and as a way to go of Linkin Park saying like, "See, she can get aggressive. Did you see that?
Right,
I told
right.
you." And then and is it working? Yeah, it's working. You go to a Linkin Park subreddit, and most people are happy. They want to see them live again. They want to hear these songs. They want it to happen. They want Chester to be respected, his life to be respected, and they understand that the band is they have to make a living, that's all they did their whole lives was play for that band. So in order to make a living, they have to, it was either start a new band from scratch, which there's no guarantees with that.
Right.
But the guarantee you had was your lottery ticket, and part of that like passed away, unfortunately. So what do? The real thing that you do is you find someone who has the chops for it. And I don't know if they made the best option considering the conspiracies and, not conspiracy, but like the controversy.
Some
Um,
asshole's always going to find something to
some
complain about.
muscle is
Yeah,
always going to
yeah,
find something.
yeah.
But the reality is you don't know someone's life. So fuck
I
off.
I
But,
think the word you use, Shawn, that nails it is respectful, right?
yeah,
Like if they come out and they're like, "Look, we love these music, we love these songs, we put
mhm,
our lives into these songs. Chester's not here with us, but we still want to bring these songs to all of our fans and have them
yeah,
really enjoy it. And you know what? We found a new singer who can hit the notes." And maybe we do some new stuff with them. If you're our true fans, we would hope you come on the journey with us. That's it. That's respectful. And then it moves it along. And you know what? Maybe some there's always going to be fucking haters. There's
always.
always going to be haters.
Always going to be
So
haters. Yeah,
ignore them.
yeah.
Ignore the rabble, and just maybe there's some kid who hears Linkin Park for the first time with the new singer and really digs it.
Mm-hmm.
And really
That's true.
digs it.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm not saying I'm a hater. I don't think she fits the mold, and it's not because she's a female. Enough with that nonsense. But like,
Yeah.
I just think it's extremely hard to replace Chester. I mean, it's just the dude. He is Linkin Park to me. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I mean, listen to the first record. You're never, ever, ever coming close to catching that ever again.
No.
It's just one of them records you're never catching. You're never catching the
No.
production of it, the songwriting. You're not catching any of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think forcing someone into that who's pretty much an unknown is it's a big feat for her, and it's cool that she's taking it on. But like the fans that are really super fans are gonna love it, but the people who really love just them first two records are not gonna really sit there and dig that shit. And
No.
that's me right there. So I did listen to the new record, and I was just like, yeah, okay. But like, I
It's
also
not
didn't really dig
bad.
anything after Meteora. So
Well, that was the thing. It's not bad, but it's just like it. I think it's a perfect 5 out of 10. Just like nothing made me go like holy shit. So that made me Two-Face, but the rest of it is just kind of like all right, I see what they're doing. Like I
yeah,
was just kind of like I felt like I see what you guys are doing. I don't, you know, it may
Right.
not be for me because in the grand scheme of things, I really wasn't really a Linkin Park person to begin with, but I did respect the band and completely like memorized a lot of those songs, whether I liked it or not, you
Mm-hmm.
know. I went to a nu metal night in Brooklyn a few years ago, and when those songs came on, I got tingles. I was just kind of like, of course, I really do fucking love this song. So, so to have this happen, I was just like, all right, um, maybe they weren't trying to set out to make the best Linkin Park album. This was definitely an introduction.
yeah. I mean, Dude, kudos to her though, man, for taking that on because that's a big role. That's a huge fucking role, and if you fuck it up, your
Yeah.
Yeah,
career's
yeah,
done, dude.
Good
yeah.
luck. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, cool, good for her. I understand why the band's doing it. I mean, just because the dude is passed, I totally get it. Like the names there, most of the members are still there, right? So
Uh,
so it's
Or
like
yeah,
no,
I
wait.
think the guitarist doesn't tour, right? Delson won't tour with them. He just records with them.
I don't know my much Linkin Park
I think the
lore.
guitarist is not touring with them, and there was somebody else
yeah, there's like
else
one
that
other member that like said he didn't want to do it or something. I think that's what I heard. But like
yeah.
it's whatever, man. Let's get on to some other shit. I know you wanted to talk about the death of Shifty and all that stuff, but
Well, it was just kind of like what other kind of new metal things have happened this year, and one
What?
of the big ones that kind
Mm,
of like hit the community was the death of Shifty, and I think what was sad about that was that you could kind of see it coming, but
yeah.
you
yeah,
could kind of see it coming anyway. But everyone was really just kind of rooting for him, you know? I think everyone wanted to see him come out sober and then just fucking
Yeah.
nail like those songs, like
Mm-hmm.
and not do just like some county fair in like Des Moines or something like that. Like actually get on Sick New World and do like fucking songs from Dark Horse and people going like, I thought these were the butterfly guys. What the hell is this shit?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
really were rooting for him. That's the tragic part of Crazy Town and Shifty is that like, you knew they were kind of like this motley crew of guys who were just kind of like trying to do those songs, putting out kind of half-assed hip hop ish songs out with these new rappers that they might have known in Hollywood. And you listen to them, you're like, all right, yeah, I see what they're doing. Okay, this is, it's not, it's, let's see what you guys have live. Like, let's,
Yeah.
break out a little bit more, Um, but yeah, so when it happened, you were just kind of like, damn it. All right, well,
Sad, but not to your point. Sad, but not surprising.
but not
yeah.
surprising,
Right.
unfortunately.
And they were kind of trying, but I mean, when you got demons like that, I just think there's nothing you could do. Eventually they're going to catch up to you. Like eventually.
Correct. Yeah.
It's the one thing I will say good about it though, not good, but like he did he did that interview with Toby, and
Which was
that was really
fantastic.
good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was
Yeah.
like it was a really great listen. I actually listened to it twice, but like I agree with Shawn. Like I would have loved to see him get up there and do them Dark Horse songs and all that shit because that record is fucking phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's a
Talk about a record
fucking
that never
great
got its due.
record.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just like you said, Jay, it eventually is going to catch up with you, and it did. I mean, there's just some people that can't put that shit down, man. And it's, I mean, I don't agree with the whole. I'm not even going to get into that actually, but like, it's just it took its course and it overtook them, and it sucks, man. But I mean, that whole
Yeah.
band was just a fucking mess, to tell you the
Yeah, I
truth.
mean, they had what? The two of them died, and then
Yeah.
Shifty, and they all had they he talked about it. They all had drug and alcohol issues, right? Like it was.
Didn't he say he fucking like swam like part of an
Oh, this
ocean and
Sean, did
shit?
you hear that interview he did so Toby
I was about
Morse
to
from
say you have to send this to
H2O.
me.
He
Yeah.
did his one life can't win, can't lose, something like that.
One life,
Um,
one choice, I think.
yeah, one life, one choice, something like that. He did an interview with Shifty where Shifty's like, yeah, so I tried to escape rehab and it was in somewhere in the Caribbean and I ended up on some island with an infection in my leg, working for a drug dealer. Like
What?
it was this completely insane story, and he is totally dead serious. All of it can be corroborated. So like, this is a dude who had a fucking insane life. He had, the flame that burns twice as bright only burns half as long. And he basically used up all of his 9 lives and then some early on. But like he
Yeah.
was, we'll send you the interview, man. It is a wild listen.
Yeah.
I remember it came out. Toby accidentally published it like 2 weeks before it was supposed to come out, and I had my whatever app I was using auto download. So I
Uh-huh.
downloaded it. I listened to it on the way to. I was flying for work somewhere, and I texted Tim, and I'm like, "Yo, you need to stop what you're doing and listen to this right now." And he's like, I can't find it. I can't find it. What the fuck? You're lying. I can't find it. Turns around and I realized it must have been after he published it. He realized he published it too early, so he removed it. But I had it on my phone because it auto downloaded. He couldn't like take the download back. What a wild listen. Yeah, that dude had some stories. He
Yeah.
had some fucking stories.
That was a wild interview,
That's
man.
awesome.
Yeah, really, really insane.
Hopefully it's still up.
It should be, yeah.
Yeah, find that. What do you listen
Look.
on, Shawn? You have Apple or Android?
Apple, but I'll listen to. Is it on Spotify?
Yes.
Yeah, it should be on all of them.
Yeah, I'll listen. I'll find it on there. That's awesome. Yeah, I have to listen to this now, in memory of
dude.
the man himself.
Definitely. All right, let's get into this next one I wrote down. The resurgence of Limp Bizkit. I mean, I know what you can't really say it's 2024 is a resurgence, but like they just been fucking crazy how
I think
big
it
they've
all
gotten.
it all started with that Lollapalooza live stream.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
that's where it started for me, where we all just kind of like jaws dropped and went like, "Holy shit!" Like they still got it,
They
and
pulled it off.
and
They
then
pulled it
people
off.
people who made fun of them kind of came out of the woodwork, and it was just kind of like, "Hey, these guys are good, right?" And we were like, "Fuck you!" Like you
Well,
don't make
and
making
the
fun of them.
people who made fun of them were like, "Oh my god, they're not bad." The
Yeah.
nostalgia people who remembered and joined them were like, "Yo, they still can put on a fucking show." And then
Yeah.
you had the people who were on the fence were like, "Yo, where is this band coming from? Like they were a joke back then, right? Like they
Hmm.
were not serious back then, right?" And it's like Fred Durst comes out with the dad vibe shit, and then they put out an album and they did that whole tour, and it was like I went and saw it. I went and saw this past tour in the summer. So, funnily enough, the tour before that they got canceled because of COVID when they
Yeah,
took out Scowl and I think it was Scowl and Dying Wish
I
and
remember that.
Wargasm.
Yeah.
I told Tim I had never seen so many old dudes with blown out knees in my life in one show
Yeah.
because as soon as they came on, they were just pulling dudes out of the pit with blown knees. But
Yeah.
when I went this summer, I went to Homedale, which is one of those giant sheds, outdoor sheds. I was out in the lawn. Um, Shawn, I couldn't believe how packed it was. And not only couldn't
Yeah.
believe how packed it was, there were like 15, 16-year-old kids there. There was, at one point, there's some dude who's been at every show in New Jersey in a Winnie the Pooh costume, right? Every show in
Perfect.
New Jersey, as long as I've been going to shows, he was always there. He was there with his kid. And Fred
Oh,
Durst remembered him, brought him up on stage, and had all the kids that were 15 years and younger in the audience got to come up and sit on stage and watch them play in the front of the stage.
that's
It
awesome.
was wild. And I was just looking around. I was texting Tim. I'm like, yo, the demographic here is not anything that I expected. It's the nostalgia heads, it's the young kids,
Yep.
it's the people who are there because they want to check it out. Like it was wild. It was
Yeah.
wild.
I'm still pissed off the Spirit Box tour thing got canceled that day.
I would love to know who tested positive. I would love to know who tested positive.
Yeah.
So annoying.
But yeah, I mean, they have. You want to talk about a resurgence? Yeah, yeah. The original band, right? All playing together. All they settled all their scores, and and I think Fred Durst has kind of leaned into being the goofy uncle,
Yep.
right? With a funny, like he was just in that interview where he was wearing like a fisherman's costume or something. Did you guys
Well,
see that?
well,
Mm-mm.
let's segue into his role in Y2K. If you've seen the movie yet, I haven't
Is
seen
it
it
is
yet.
it out?
I think it's out. Yeah.
No, no shit. I gotta Tim. We gotta take it to the torrent sites.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about actually.
Oh,
Y2K. Is it out? Is it out? It's actually in theaters right now.
it is in theaters right
Is it
now.
a documentary or is it a
It
movie?
is a disaster horror comedy.
Okay.
All right. Well, Tim, you got to look up the trailer now. It's because that actually was
Yeah, I
on
see that.
my year-end list. It was just like there is now the most new metal movie because there's a character on there that listens to nothing but new metal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gonna
And
send it
then
in the chat, Jay?
The movie's not out, but here's the Wikipedia write-up. And Fred Durst plays
himself, I think.
yeah, I
Doesn't he?
think so. They meet him in a VHS store. Yeah, it's out December 6th. It just got released.
American
Yeah, Fred
disaster
Durst plays
comedy
himself.
horror.
Yeah, I this is new metal come back to it has come full circle, right? Like Shawn, if they make a sequel to Can't Hardly Wait, right, and they lean
Mm.
into the music and and it's all like fucking nothing face and stuff. Yeah,
I'm ready
Yeah,
for
dude.
people to rediscover Nothing Face.
Oh fuck
Uh,
yeah.
they're one of
Even though
those.
he's passed away, like that's one of those bands where if I see someone with a Nothing Face shirt, I'm like I come up to them and I just grab them by the shoulders and be like, "Are we best friends now?"
There's a couple of bands, them, Ultraspank, right? Kilgore. There's a
Hmm.
couple of bands that I think maybe with any luck they'll get their chance to do something again. Kilgore, I reached out to them a couple times through Instagram trying to get them on the show. They did an EP not too long ago that was really really good.
I did hear that.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but
And it's
yeah, I mean,
unmistakable Kilgore though.
yes,
You're just
yes,
like, yeah, there's no one else sounds like them.
nope, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Limp Bizkit resurgence is something else. And somebody was on the Reddit board talking about how why don't they have a merch store? Why don't they sell merch? And then I actually replied and talked about there was an interview with Wes Borland who said, "Why would we have a merch store? Nobody wants to wear a T-shirt that says Limp Bizkit on it."
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, the last time I wore it to This Is
Other than
Hardcore,
Jay, yeah.
I wore it to This Is Hardcore, and I ran into Jayway, and I'm like, "Yo, dude, want to come back on the show?" He's like, "Yeah, let's talk about Fear Factory." He's like, "I like your Limp Bizkit shirt."
See? Yeah. Yeah. I think you're safe now. I think Wes also has to realize that, like, yeah, it's you guys are cool again.
Yes,
Relax. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
yes.
One other thing I want to get into is how big Deftones have gotten this year. And from what I'm told is
Yeah.
somebody was going around on like TikTok and like using some of their songs as like backdrops for their videos and just it blew the fuck up and a bunch of people who had no clue about them found out about them. Now they're doing an arena tour. Like
That that's about right. Yeah. I think I mean, someone and then it just kind of spread like wildfire like it does. You never really know the source of that like kind of viral stuff,
Right, the alpha bozo that started it. Yeah.
but
so
like because you can kind of like cherry pick parts of Deftones songs that um can kind of like take off. Like one of the big ones right now is Cherry Waves
oh
when
yeah.
Chino goes, you and you see reactions to that and stuff and people are going like it's the internet so people are going oh my god
Oh
freaking
the
out.
people that are freaking
Yeah,
out just for the camera, yeah.
correct.
Mhm.
So but then kids eat that up, all that kind of stuff. It spreads like it does, and then um we are where we are with this sort of thing. And I don't know how much the band is privy to it. Maybe their press people are definitely privy to it and they're just eating it up. um but I think they're the kind of band that is also like they're riding this wave, this cherry wave, and just going like, I don't know how long this is gonna last for, but let's
Get
go
it while the
for it.
getting's good.
Get it while it gets good, and then
Exactly.
while they're at it too, making one of like the best lineups. Them Mars Volta and Fleshwater is a pretty much dream lineup right there.
Yeah.
So
Just think, you're in Vain, you're playing like clubs, and now you're in Fleshwater and you're playing fucking arenas. That's
Opening for the
absolutely
Deftones.
crazy,
owning for
dude.
Actually,
the
you're opening for
Deftones.
Mars Volta, who's opening for the Deftones, right?
Like
Yeah.
Like,
that's absolutely
uh,
crazy, dude.
TikTok. I mean, I don't have it on my phone because I know I don't have the self control. But I'm always amazed at how shit blows up. Wildly off topic. Chili's. There was an article I was reading in this like restaurant publishing about like restaurant business and chains and franchises going out of business. Chili's has seen almost a double digit increase in their traffic and sales in the last 2 quarters because people have been putting shit on TikTok about their like hot honey chicken sandwich or something, or their buffalo
Okay.
mozzarella sticks.
Yeah.
And it got on TikTok and it took off. And now they're up like 7% or something month over month. Like sales are up. I, I'm old. I don't get it. I don't know who the fuck Mr. Beast is, but there is something to be said about that. Is a massively, if you can time it, right? To your point about the Deftones, just get while the getting's good.
Yeah.
If it hits at the right time,
Yeah.
God
But
knows where the ceiling is.
the
Yeah.
craziest part about this is that band's first record was what, 95, 96?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
95.
it's fucking 2024. It's almost what, 30 years later, and they're just reaching this point where they can tour arenas. Like, there's something to be said about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, it's like one of them people that's just like, one day I'm gonna make it, and they finally do, but it's 30 years later. Like, not saying
Yeah.
that they haven't made it, because obviously they have, but to be doing what they're doing almost 30 years later, it's just a testament to how
Yeah.
big this just one video can do. You know what I
Like you
mean? Like,
Yeah.
can't,
it's
yeah,
crazy.
you can't predict the future. Like you just can't. You just don't know what's gonna happen. And these guys are just they're just going like they're probably going like, whoa, all right, here
Yeah, I
we
mean, it's
go, you know?
Steph smoked himself stupid. He's talking about flat Earths, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Oh, that poor
Uh,
guy. Like somebody's got to help him, man. Somebody's got
he
to help him.
refuses to fly.
yeah,
So all
that's
the UK
fucking
dates are with Shawn Lopez. So
yeah. It's like, oh yeah, if we fly too far, we might hit a barrier, and the
No,
plane will
the Great Ice
fucking
Wall, dude. The Great
yeah,
Ice
yeah,
Wall. He's
the
worried about
Great
running
Ice
into
Wall.
the.
Yeah,
He's worried about running into Nazis and the Vril demons in
yeah,
Antarctica, right? Like he's got bigger concerns.
yeah. That's
Um,
fucking crazy,
but
dude.
yeah, I mean, and to your like, so let's talk about Fleshwater, right? Bands like Fleshwater, bands like Drown, or bands like Mood Ring, right? There's a lot of bands that have taken the sound and done new things with it, and they're starting to get some eyes.
I
You know,
know.
like I mean, it's a shame that Hunter had to stop touring because Mood Ring was on the cusp. That last album is
They
absolutely
really
brilliant.
were.
And I
Yeah.
think that next one's the clips that he keeps posting sound unbelievable. So
When
I mean,
anyone talks about like, hey, what bands sound like Loathe? And like if you go to the metalcore subreddit and you see people bring up Loathe, everybody says Mood Ring. And they're like, hey, the lead singer kind of dropped out a little bit, but Mood Ring's like your guys. And it's right.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
they would have been able to kind of hit that they if they could, but yeah. Yeah, hopefully
I
Hunter like is getting better and everything.
Yeah,
I think
and
go on,
I
Tim.
think not. I'm sorry to cut you off. I think the big thing right now is how accessible everything is, because back in
Makes it
our day,
easy.
'90s, early 2000s, you had to be on a label. You couldn't just record in your bedroom. Like, everything is so accessible now. I just wonder, like, what would happen in, say, '94 if if you could have. I mean, you could have a Pro Tools rig in your room. Blah blah blah. But let's be honest here. It's so much easier to do anything. Like, you couldn't do what we're doing right now in 1995. It would
Well,
never fucking happen.
but think about like for the fans how much easier it is. Like we used to have to save up for money to buy a CD that sometimes sucked.
Yeah.
Now you can speed run through a Friday's new releases and say, okay, I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to go back to
Yeah.
that. So it's also easier to disseminate your shit.
Could you imagine, like, me asking you and Shawn, like, hey, let's get on Zoom. It's 1994. Let's get on Zoom and talk about music. It'd be like, what?
Like a party
Right?
line? It's like
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
99
huh?
cents a minute, Tim. I can't afford this. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's so, like, we're on here now talking about all these bands, and it's like, I think that's the big thing right now, where it's just like, it's right now, like, if you're like 17, 18 years old right now, and you're like a virtuoso and like guitar, drums, whatever, right now is the time for you to show everybody what you can do.
hmm
Hmm.
It's just like, I feel great for these kids, man, because it's just like, you have the internet right in front of you. You just fucking, if you're that good, like a person like Hunter is, he's that good at what he does. Like, this is the perfect time for these kind of guys, man. It's just like, it's cool. It's cool to see, but at the same time, it's getting very oversaturated.
Yeah.
It is. You really, really have to be deliberate over what you listen to at this point. And then if you oversaturate yourself with new stuff, it almost just seems to like blend together. Like what
Hmm.
I do nowadays now, I just cut it up with albums I love that I know
Mm.
every word to, just palate cleanse it. So I'll listen to a couple new albums, and then I'll go listen to Around the Fur,
Yeah,
or like come to something where I'm like, I know every fucking song, and then I'm back, and then I can kind of listen to something
Yeah.
fresh again. So I can't, if I listen to too much new stuff, I feel like when someone comes up to you and says like, "Have you watched this movie?" And not only do you not know the movie, and when they tell you the streaming service is on, you don't even know what that is either.
yeah, right. It's
You
like,
know,
This is
what?
you're
definitely
like,
old guys talking about the internet.
yeah, but like, you know
What?
what I mean? You're just kind of like, and it almost feels like work at
Freebie.
this
What the
point.
fuck
Yeah,
is Freebie?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on National Geographic Plus. It's like, wait, what? How
yeah,
much is that a month?
yeah.
No, another 10.99. Okay.
Oh man.
I would be.
But
I
Shawn,
want to
you're
get
right.
into. Go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
was gonna say, I mean, so the end of the year is slowing down for me. Like work is starting to get slow. So I've been going through. I have my end of the year list, which I've made my top 10, but now I'm going through all the stuff, the other stuff, to like, I don't remember this.
Jay,
And
you literally just stole what I was going to say. So
oh, is that what you're
perfect.
going to talk about?
I was literally going to get into the new metal releases this year.
I'm just not even new metal, just overall. Like there is so much shit that I forgot even came out.
A
That even looking
fantastic
at my
segue though.
like I
Yeah.
looking at the list, I'm like, Vomit the Soul had a new album this year. Shit, let me put that on. Man, this was really good. Wait, Our Penance had one too. Like
Yeah.
you forget because it's to your point. The other side of that ease is it's just chunk 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 chunk. Shawn, we have a chat group. Me, Tim, and a bunch of other music guys, and Tim gets to work at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
So on Friday morning, when you wake up, you go into our Slack group and you go to the music channel. It's Tim has just bombed it with everything new that came out that day. And
Yeah.
there are some times where I just scroll through, and the first comment you'll see is one of my buddies say, "Fuck." And the second comment, the
Damn it.
second comment is, "There is no way I get caught up this week." Like because
Yeah.
you're impossible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's too much.
It's the
Yeah.
speed at which things come out, and even like we're in December, we still got shit coming out.
Yeah, I look forward to blasting the Slack channel and all that shit. 'Cause it's like I'm like, there you go. When you guys wake up, here you go.
And I don't even look at any website. I just go into Slack and I'm like, all right, Tim, what came out this week?
Yeah,
Tag
it's
that,
great,
tag that,
man.
tag that. Yeah.
But I want to get into the records, new metal wise, that came out that I think we should talk about real quick. I have 16 listed. We don't have to get into like 5 minutes of each of them, just like 30 seconds, whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
But I want to talk about, especially, I want to ask Sean's opinion on some of these. What'd you think of the new Mushroom Head records? You listen to that?
I did. I'm really an old school Mushroom Head. I love the dynamic between the two vocalists in the beginning. The whatever they are now,
Yeah.
I just and if they can make a living, so be it. But it definitely wasn't like it did not resonate with me and whatever they are doing. I feel like um they have this kind of like theme. They've always had a theme, but the the current theme now just doesn't uh uh I heard
Resonate
it.
with you?
It didn't resonate with me at all.
Yeah, yeah, and I see a lot of people saying the same exact thing. It's like we need J Man back, we need Waylon back. I get it, but the new
Yeah.
record, it's pretty good. The one record I was super impressed with, it doesn't surprise me at all. That new Static X record is fucking phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
a
it
great.
is.
That's a top tenner for me. I love that record, man.
It is really good.
I'm
That the
I'm I'm
yeah.
hoping this isn't the last of it. I mean, I guess they're gonna have to go and make all their own new songs, which is completely fine because you have most of the band there except for Wayne. But that new record, man, that's a phenomenal fucking record.
Yeah, they did him well. Zombie is such a great song.
Yeah, man.
Uh Stay Alive,
Oh
Kamikaze's
fuck
good.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. The more I listen to it, the more I love it. The new Kitty record, surprisingly great.
It's amazing.
Surprisingly heavy.
Heavy, dude.
Surprisingly heavy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one well, is it One Foot in the Grave? No, One Foot in the Grave is one of the songs on there. It's Fire. That's what it's called.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fire. Yeah, yeah.
Fire. Oh yeah.
That second single they put out is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Where shadows or something.
Yeah, We Are Shadows. Yeah.
Yeah, that chorus is great, dude. She got a great voice on that. The new Memories record is fucking amazing.
Oh
He's
my
a
God.
That guy's a
Gary's a
wizard.
machine.
Gary's a wizard. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite guests to have on too. I fucking love talking to him. Not a new record, but the new Tetrarch single is fucking great. That band can do
Yep.
no bad at all.
Yep.
Love that band. What else we got here? The new Steppa songs are fucking great.
They are. They are great.
Yes.
Talk about a way when I heard those three songs, I was like, you guys understood what you guys were doing in that first record and did not deviate at all
Yep.
from the spirit of what Steppa really is. So if you're a Steppa fan and you hear these songs, you're not there's other bands out there that are trying to get into the metalcore stuff more, or trying to be heavier. I can't think of who it was, but there was a band that like is a third tier new metal band back in the day. They put out a new song and I'm like, this doesn't sound like them at all. Sounds like they're trying to be Spirit Box or, you know, whatever the flavor of the week, like, metalcore act is right now. It doesn't even sound like them. Those Steppa songs, it is like they just picked up where they left off, which is
Yes.
exactly what everybody wanted.
Yeah, I said when we talked to him, I was like, "You guys are more new metal than you were back in the day, right now."
Yeah, and then that's a compliment. That's a
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah, and
perfect
I was
compliment
not.
for
Yeah,
them.
I mean that song, that one song, that chorus gets stuck up every time I listen to it. It gets stuck in my head for like a week.
Yeah.
I just forgot this. I
Yeah.
think it's called "Wish." Is that the song, Jay?
I don't remember.
But yeah, that song, it's like an earworm, gets stuck in my head every time I listen to it. I'm like, God damn it, why did I listen to this? Now it's stuck in my head. Like I'll be walking down the fucking hall at work just singing it. It's like fuck.
Yep.
Have you heard that Profiler record?
Yeah, it's very good. I
Yeah,
like that.
dude.
Everything they put out is that when I think of like the future of new metal kind of stuff, Profiler definitely fits that for me.
I'm glad you said that. Excuse me. I'm glad you said that, man, because that band is definitely what I think new metal is going towards right
Yeah.
now. Like if you think of a new metal band in 2024, that's the band right there.
Mm.
And that was my record of the year until a couple other records which came out. They're on this list, but that record was, in February. I was like, yeah, this record's amazing. It was Static X, then the Profiler came out. I was like, wow, man, 1 month, two amazing fucking records.
Mm.
Have you heard the Disaster Piece record?
Is no.
That's probably a record you would really like.
Okay.
Some Glassjaw influences, Deftones, some
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
rapcore
good.
stuff in it. Yeah, we interviewed the dude. I forget his name. I think his name was shit,
I
my
don't know. I'm
bad.
terrible with names, but he
Yeah,
was
me
cool to
too.
talk to. He was driving the
Super
van,
cool.
going to a show, picking up like amps and shit. It was kind of wild.
Yeah, that's a good record. I'll send that over to you on
Is it called
Instagram.
Standstill? Is that what it's called?
No, no, I don't think it is. It just
Yes.
came out like May, I think.
No, that's it. I'm looking up. But yeah, send it to me. I want
It's
to hear it.
spelled Dizas.
I found it.
What's it called again?
Zone Bound.
There you go. Listen
Yes,
to that
that's it.
record, man. You'll
Okay.
probably really like that one.
Okay,
I know
cool.
Jay loves this one. That new Throne record is amazing.
That is my album of the year, and Spotify told me that it was my most listened to album, and my top five songs, they were all from that album. That album is fucking amazing. And I don't know if you saw it on Instagram, a couple of their venues on this upcoming tour, they've had to upgrade venues into bigger rooms.
Wow.
Excessive Guilt, is that the name of the album?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes. The Philly
Heavy.
date. I bought tickets to the Philly date. I can't even go. I have tickets to the orchestra with the wife. I got to figure out how I'm going to get out of that because I want to go see Throne.
Ooh, okay. I
How
check
about
them
this
out.
one? Have you heard the new Graphic Nature record?
Yeah, that's so good. They're
It's
so
so
talented.
good.
Yeah.
Harvey is he is the nicest dude that we talk to,
Yeah.
but Jesus, I mean, we told him, like, that album is unbelievable,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
They did good work with that. That talk about that's one of my favorite like working out albums. It's just front to
Mhm.
back. I can just plug that in and just hit play and yeah,
Hell yeah,
Yep,
man.
yep.
one after the next.
One I was super surprised with, the new Vendit. I didn't really care for the EP, but the full length is fucking phenomenal, man. That's a great record.
Full disclosure, I haven't listened to the whole thing yet, but I
Oh
like the
wow,
single
okay.
that they put out. Yeah.
Yeah, I know Jay isn't really into it, but I think if you
Mhm.
actually sat and listened to it and gave it a really good,
I'll give it a go because with nothing coming out, I can go back and loop back on some other stuff.
I'm gonna do this. I'm
all
gonna do the
right,
same thing. Let me give it a shot.
this is probably my record of the year right here. That new Cane Hill is just
Oh,
I can't stop
holy
listening to it.
Ooh, I didn't even know they put out a new one.
Oh my
dude, it
god.
is. When I saw them, they were direct support. It was Signs of the Swarm, them, Of Sulfur, 156 Silence, and Awaken Providence. And that was one of those rare tours where every band is trying to outplay every other band.
Like it.
And you know, like when you go to those shows and you can tell they're all going for it, saying "fuck you, I'm opening." You got
Yeah.
to follow me. Um, Kane Hill stole that room. If it wasn't for Signs of Swarm just putting on a masterclass, but
Right.
also 156 Silence, they played all new stuff, and the clean vocals actually sound better than the older Scream stuff.
Mm,
And Kane Hill was just unbelievable. Like they worked that
yes.
whole room. It was wild.
That's great.
Yeah, that record, every time I listen to it, I'm just like, how did I miss how good that song was? It's just that's a master class right there, honestly, as well. That record is fucking front to back. There's not one bad riff on that
No,
record.
no, there's
Hmm.
not.
It's that good, man. Seriously, check that out, Shawn.
Okay.
Ocean Grove, that new record is great.
Super fun. Yeah.
Surprisingly, I
Yeah.
was really surprised by how much I enjoyed that.
I thought they were separating themselves from the new metal stuff, and then they came right back hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, even harder. What else do I have on this list? The new Thornhill singles are really good. Not
Hmm.
sure if you're
Mm-hmm.
familiar with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What else we got here? Alpha Wolf put out that record. I forget what it's called. Oh shit. I think it's like Living Things or something. At first, I was like, not my thing. But the more I listen to it, I'm like, yeah, this is good. It's super heavy. It's put together very well. They've been getting a huge following lately, so I'm sure you're gonna see them tour a lot coming up.
Sweet.
What else we got? Emo. See. I didn't really think this record was new at all. It was just kind of like a rock record to me. Emo. How do you say this? Is it Emo Bulls?
Emo Bulls.
Yeah.
Oh, Emo Bulls. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
good record. It reminds me. You know, it reminds me of something you would hear like 2006 on like the radio. Like it's like that rock influence, like heavier stuff, like Breaking Benjamin, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
mm,
I
Mm-hmm.
kind of felt like it was like more in that vein, but I see why people really love it. And then, have you heard that Freak EP?
Freaky P.
Yeah, it's the
No.
band. The band's called Freak.
Okay. Spelled normally? Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
F-R.
no. Oh, yeah. I hate myself.
Yeah, dude, that's a great fucking EP, man.
It is really good. Yeah. He's, I'm like, what is that? Because he starts the song with him just kind of going like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's
Yeah.
got some fucking riffs on it, man.
It does. Yeah.
What else have you been listening to lately, new metal wise, that
Uh,
we should check out?
so, listen to, Heavy Trip.
Heavy
Heavy.
Trip. Hold on.
So if you like in the new grunge revival kind of stuff with like Soul Blind and all that stuff, they are leaning toward a little more new metal riff stuff. And Heavy Trip, all one word, where they can't see is the album. And they just go like I think it's an EP, but man, yeah, they get it. Split Chain has been putting out new songs like Descend.
Great band, yeah.
They've been doing great. Um, let's see, Newly Opposed. If you've heard any of the Newly Opposed stuff, lesser known new metal band that has like gets not only the sound right, but the cover imagery and everything of
Mm.
just like the kind of like dark underground shit. Very good.
Is it called Underglow?
Uh, which one? The Newly Opposed one?
Yeah.
I think it's called. Let me bring it up. It is Underglow. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I just found it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that album cover. That is cool. You
Uh,
know who I'm
the-
really looking forward to new stuff is Bleed.
yes, and they have new stuff coming out. So
Oh, do they really? I haven't seen anything talked about.
Yeah,
Did you hear something?
they've been teasing it here and there, and then they've been playing new live stuff in Texas and stuff like that.
Oh shit. Okay.
So
Yeah,
it's
that
coming.
EP is incredible.
It is.
Tim, I'm
It-
surprised you didn't talk about Void of Vision.
Oh shit. Yeah.
That new
Well,
album came out this year.
I don't really consider them a new band, but like or a new metal band, but yeah, that record is really good.
I
That's
think they're
definitely in my
close
top
enough.
right now.
I'm curious to see what happens because they had the band members it kind of fell apart.
Did they really?
They had to bag a tour. They were supposed to play that August Burns Red show this
Oh
weekend.
shit. Yeah.
But apparently now they announced tour dates in Australia, so I guess they were able to retool and get things going.
That record's good. I mean, I really think that if they stuck to the formula they were doing on the record before that, I would have liked it more. But yeah, it's decent.
All right, so I'm gonna name off a bunch like real quick, and then so okay, the new Drowner song was good.
Oh fuck
Blind
yeah.
Blind Channel, the poppy stuff is more like metalcore, but New Way Out. She does like disturbed like David Duramium like stuff. She does that. Like even at like in the middle of the song, I'm just kind of like, oh my God, like this is great. She's so fantastic.
Is it called Exit Emotions?
The new Poppy.
Oh, I thought you said Blind Channel.
Oh, Blind Channel, yeah. Blind Channel 2 is Exit Emotions, yeah. That one's good.
Oh yeah. The new Poppy record, I listened to it. I was like, yeah, that's okay, not bad.
It's all
Uh, the the song
it's
she did with Knock Loose is phenomenal.
oh yeah, Suffocates. Just that's
Yes.
probably one of the songs of the year, really. And their
Yeah.
their performance at Jimmy Kimmel was un like they just unleashed themselves. They didn't hold back anything.
No, no, they're a band that has definitely arrived. They got a huge reaction opening for Slipknot.
Mm,
Their headline tour was sold out, and they were phenomenal. Like
yeah,
you
they're
want to talk
have
about an amazingly tight band. They're having a moment, and they might be the next like Lamb of God tier heavy band.
good.
That becomes a festival headliner. Good for them too.
Good for
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Yo, I got a funny story about that Suffocate song. I was at the gym like 2 weeks ago, right? There's this dude on the fucking he's on like whatever machine he's on. And I'm walking by him and he has a shirt that says Suffocate in the front. And in my head I go, "Holy shit, I haven't seen a Suffocate shirt in fucking forever." It had the same font as that California deathcore band.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about, Jay.
Yeah.
So he has the shirt on, says Suffocate, and he has headphones on, and I just stop and I'm like, "Yo, dude, I haven't seen a Suffocate shirt in fucking forever. Good shit, dude." And he looks at me like this. He goes, "Huh?" And I'm just like, "What? You don't know what fucking band shirt you have on?" I turn around to wipe the machine off. It's a fucking shirt. And on the back it says "Knock Loose Poppy," and I go, "Oh shit."
Oh,
He
he's a
has that
cheesesteak.
shirt on.
Yeah.
And then he looks at me again. He's like, "What the fuck is this dude talking about?" And I just go, "Yeah, whatever, dude." And then I see him at the gym all the time now. He has like I am shirts on, like fucking signs of swarm shirts. I'm like, so this dude totally thinks I'm like one of them dudes that has no clue what he's talking about. I
No.
love it,
No.
man. I thought he had a Suffocate shirt on. I was
You
like,
have
yo,
to
that band
maintain that
rules, dude.
persona now. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's like, this dude's a poser. It's just
um,
great though. I thought he had a Suffocate shirt. I was like, yeah, that's sick, dude. Good shit.
Ugh.
But it was a
oh well.
Knock Blue shirt. I just didn't know they made a shirt that said Suffocate and that had Poppy on the back, and I was like, oops.
Must have been one of the collabs that they did. They're
It
also another
was, yeah.
band. They're comparable to Glassjaw in the sense that they understand how to run a merch game.
They do.
Like they will do limited merch. They'll do stuff
Yep.
that's just for the tour.
Yep.
Good. That I mean, I actually think that that's if a band wants to be successful these days, you got to hit the road and you got to have a good merch store. I'm
You
just
do.
convinced.
Yeah, you really do. Yeah. All right. The new Non-Point song was good. The
Oh
new
yeah.
POD was great. I thought the new POD was a return to form for them.
They put out a
Um,
song?
they put out a new album.
Oh shit, did they?
They did.
Jay, how do we not know about this?
I again, I
Veritas.
got overload. I got overrun this year.
You guys didn't hear Drop with Randy Blythe?
Let
Mm-mm.
me see. Oh,
Dude,
that's the first track.
you gotta hear Drop. It's probably one of the best songs of the year
All
for new
right.
metal.
I just added it to my list. There we go.
Yeah, I'll check it out after this.
They just like blow it up, and yeah, Randy's on there being Randy. So yeah, it's great. Crossbreed put out a new song this year.
Oh yeah.
There's this band that's on the sub a lot, and they might even be listening to this. But there's a band called American Overdose, and American with a K, and they're putting out some fun songs. They did a cover of Britney Spears' "Toxic." That's a lot of fun to listen to. The new Tetrarch song, yeah, Black Gold, great. The Bloody Wood, New Delhi with new
Mm-hmm.
metal, just great. New Orgasm song, new Black Coast song was awesome.
Oh, I love that band.
Silly Goose's new album is just one of the
That's a fun listen.
most fun listens. So yeah, that's my list.
Jay, you got anything? Or did I pretty much just or did we
Uh,
just knock them all out for you?
you pretty much knocked all of them out. So Shawn, let me ask you, what not new metal has caught your ear this year? So before we started recording, we started talking about Candy. What
Yeah.
else?
Oh, I've got a list, but I'm only gonna say like three really, because I could go on. We could talk hours about this. Non new metal, non heavy. I would say the the new Mannequin Pussy album.
Mm.
She So they put out a few albums. They've been around for a little bit. This
Hmm.
is I want to say their third album, um, but just a combo of just kind of like a little bit of Hole, a little bit of post-hardcore, a little bit of just unhinged like hardcore, but then kind of dialing it back a little bit uh, uh, into that kind of like post grunge but female led type of
Yeah.
thing. The whole
Oh,
album just flows perfectly.
they're a
Um,
Philly band.
I Got Heaven is just a great listen. A great listen. If you want to hear something that is completely not nu metal or heavy at all, and you want to, if you like bands like Big Star, the Lemon Twigs, just if you want to going out on a sunny drive, want to listen to something nice, the Lemon Twigs are great, especially if you have kids in the car. Um, if you guys like post grunge too, Super Bloom is just an awesome band that puts out great post grunge stuff. And then I would say my for local bands that are from out here where I live, New England area. Uh, if you like Show Me the Body, Sophisticated Adult is off the fucking rail. Awesome. That album they put out under their own name, Sophisticated Adult, is just completely unhinged. I don't know what they're doing. You can't pin them down. Yeah, that album's great. Shooter is one of my favorite songs. It's just it sounds like, I mean, I love the new Chat Pile album. But it kind of goes in that like range of just kind of like, did they just pull off a guy from the street to just yell like crazy shit into the microphone? Because it's working.
Speaking of Chat Pile and crazy shit, have you
I was
heard the
literally just gonna ask you. I was literally just gonna say it. I know what you're gonna say.
yeah, Crippling Alcoholism? Have you heard that album?
Rippling alcoholism?
Crippling Alcoholism. It is fantastic, but it is a deeply unsettling listen. Like
Yeah.
it's dark and moody and almost like a dirty type of country. Imagine Chat Pile toning down the insanity and more focused. Um, there I put them in the same bucket as Uniform and The Body and Laguna
Yes.
Ignota and
I'm
Full of
sold.
Hell, like that
Yes.
really, which by the way both those Uniform albums this year were amazing. Just deeply like, man, this guy's having a moment. They're having a
Mm,
moment.
yeah. I'm
It's Adam from Orthodox said, "Have you guys heard this?" And we're like, "Jesus, Adam, this is depressing. Like, where the hell did you find this?
yeah. Yeah.
You don't put this on in the van when you guys are driving, do you?"
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready
What
for
what
it.
did I miss, Tim? What did I miss? I will always owe Shawn a solid for recommending me that band Money, who I
Yeah.
think is phenomenal. They did
That
two
new song
songs
they
this
put out this
year.
year was great.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think very much in that failure hum worship
Yep.
vein that I think is phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. They got a good thing going.
So, all right. So, before we take up too much of your time, what do you see? How long until you see 100,000 subscribers into the subreddit?
Um, I mean, maybe like this time, like next year, probably, if we're being realistic. Because we we hit a peak when the Linkin Park thing happened, and people jumped on board. Right now, I feel like we're coasting at a moment, but I think at the rate we're going, I would say this time next year, and then we're going to do what we want to do every time we hit some sort of milestone. Is that we ask people who have been loyal to the subreddit for so long and have had AMAs with us, or to do like a congrats to the community for reaching this number. But we're gonna try to reach for some big names. So I might even like once we hit like 80, I think I might like reach out to like Fred Durst or the Slipknot crew or the Korn crew and be like, can you please just have one of the guys send a video to us? It would mean
Right.
the world. So
Yeah,
we'll
that would be
see.
cool,
I don't
man.
know. That'd be cool.
And I'm sure one of them will do it. I mean, it takes 10 seconds of their life.
Yeah.
Hit a
Right.
fucking video, send it. Come on, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that'd be super cool, man. I mean, the growth is fucking amazing, dude. Like, and
Hmm.
what you guys say, like, I'm not on there as much as I should be because I'm just super busy and stuff. But like, to keep it where you don't have the fucking people that are on there just being assholes, like, it's super cool to see that like people aren't just being assholes on there and coming on there and just being like, oh fuck, this sucks and fuck you, and just like Jay's
Hmm.
first Lamb go comment, and it's like. It's super cool to see, man. Like I do go on there once in a while when I have the time, and I'm just like, I just read some of the stuff and just laugh. But then like, I'll troll a
Mhm.
couple of people here and there. But then I go, well, I know the guy who moderates this. I don't want to be that much of a dick. So
I have
Appreciate
my
that.
go-to is I'm always under the New Breed account, and when somebody says, "What's an older band that I should check out that fits X genre?" and it'll
Yeah.
be like industrial or new metal, and I'm always suggesting
Cannibal Corpse.
Australia's no, the Berserker, because if you think about it, that was you think about the Berserker, they wore masks. It was that
Yeah.
hyper-driven guitar, bass, and gutturals. Like, imagine some kid like, oh, I really like Linkin Park. I'm checking out this band, The Berserker, and they pull up the one video they did, which was banned by MTV, and you're like, can you imagine being like, what is
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
I remember
The
when we put the Drowner track out.
animosity. Yeah.
When we put the Drowner track out, I think it was like March or something. I posted it like, yeah, check this out, and I instantly got flagged. I'm like, what the fuck? It was like this was posted already. I'm like, where? Like we just put it out. Like how is this flagged already? I'm like,
Yeah, it
God
was
damn it.
fast. It was
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
like,
that
how does that happen? Do you have like something that like reads that like AI wise that just tells like, hey, this was already posted, or
a little bit of both. We have to watch it because our AI kind of goes rogue sometimes, and then I'll get like a nasty gram from one of the users being like, "Why is this removed?" And then I'll look on, and it'll just
You
remove
should you
it.
should use you should use my canned response. This sucks. You suck. Kill
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah, yeah. Kill yourself.
yeah, yeah,
And
and then
then
he
just
gets sued.
sign it, Lamb
I
Goat
have a, I have
2005.
I have a copy and paste to just go, bam, there.
It sucks. You suck. That's great, man.
Jeez,
Oh,
the
yeah.
modded new metal really changed his attitude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that moderator's a
He's having a
dick.
rough he's having a rough day.
I used to think Shawn was cool. Well, fuck that guy.
Or you'll have
Anyway,
somebody on the other end going, oh my God, I feel like I'm back on Lamb Goat. This is the greatest
Yeah,
yeah,
thing ever, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Next post is, what are the best new metal bands you think? And it's like, Jesus Christ.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Every day it's like, top 5 new metal bands you could recommend, and it's just like, well, really, dude,
I
search.
do like how some of the I mean there are a lot of people that are actually truly helpful.
Hmm.
And somebody will say, well, I like this, but I like this, but I don't like this. What should I go listen to? And a lot of the times the suggestions are pretty spot on. I did like
Yeah.
there was that thread that was like hot takes where there were a lot of people who I would guarantee they're all older heads up in arms saying, just because this band is undiscovered and you think you found them and they have like 8 songs, which was only released on like a mini disc doesn't make them awesome. Like there's a lot of people posting shit like that. Like, can we not talk about these ridiculously obscure 3-song demo bands? Like, there's a reason
Yeah.
why System of a Down got as big as it did, whether you love them or hate them.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It is like when people obsess over underground music, and sometimes they get a little too obsessed, and they reach out to the members, and they're like a manager at like a Hannaford somewhere in like, Connecticut, and they're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you know, and some of them are like, well, thank you, but I have to go back to my life, please. And others are just kind of like, Jesus Christ, block. And that's what is happening in this world? Who knew? Who knew that them and their friends who did this one crappy demo in a garage after listening to like Adrenaline
Mm-hmm.
and Life is Peachy and going like, we gotta do that, and then did it, and then it's wound up on Discogs, and someone's like emailing going like, hey, do you have that demo from this? It's I heard it on YouTube. It has 50 views, and they're going like that has to be jarring.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
definitely is. Like, what? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the kind of shit you see on like the hardcore Reddit. It's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, this band came out in '98. It's like they had 3 songs, and it's like, wait, who?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit happens all the fucking time there.
Yeah, I found your demo on SoulSeek, and it's a real low rip. Do you have anything at like 320? Because this 128 doesn't
Yeah.
sound good. And Shawn, who's the manager at like fucking a Culver's,
Yeah.
is going,
Yeah.
yo, we recorded it at 128. We didn't have
Yeah.
any money. Like,
Right?
get
Yeah.
out of here, kid.
I didn't know it went higher than 128.
Send it through the latest AI mastering phase. There you go.
Yeah. Do you have a FLAC file of your like? My God.
Came out in 1993. Here, you have a flack of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
but I will
That's
say
fucking
this though,
great.
it has definitely forced me. I went back down the rabbit hole and found some old stuff that I had. Like I had my brother send me the. It's the 5 song. I think it's the EP from the band Stem from New York. They were a dual
Mm.
singer new metal band. I got you want to talk about a fucking gem that everybody has forgotten. I got this thing here. It's Head Rush from New Jersey, another two singer band.
Wow.
I found a
How'd
whole
you
bunch
find
of
that at?
I had a whole bunch of stuff. I have a whole bunch of CDs I actually got to toss. I had a box of old shit and I was digging through it. I'm like, I remember this band. They opened for Soulfly. They weren't bad. And then I listened to it again. I'm like, no, they were bad.
They were bad.
That's the kind of shit you give to Detox and have him post it on his page.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I got to rip it. I got it in a pile over here with like Face Down and a couple other bands. I got CDs. I just need to find the time to rip.
Yeah, speaking
Mhm.
of Detox, next time we get you on, Sean, we should get him on as well, dude. He's great, man.
He is.
I
John
think he
has
said he wanted to get you on or something. Or did you do his show?
No, we had something scheduled, but then there was some conflict or something like that, like scheduling conflict. So I'm waiting. Whenever he wants me, he knows where to find me.
Well, Detox, hit him up.
He has an encyclopedic knowledge comparable to what Tim and I've got, which is really impressive. It's cool to sit down and talk to him because the guy's got he's got it all cross referenced like that, like the
Yeah.
Pepe, what's it from, and It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
Like,
He's just
that's literally John's
writing it on
brain.
the
Like
board.
it's
Yeah.
all tied together with string. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, super cool, dude, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
good stuff. Good stuff. Well, all right, fuck it. Let's get out of here. So find Shawn on r/new metal. Here's the march to 100K. We're well underway here.
Mhm.
Find us, New Breed _ podcast on Twitter and Instagram, newbreedpodcast@gmail.com, 267-297-4627 for all of your complaints when we talk too fast on the album of the month episodes and you can't understand what we're talking about. Find us next Wednesday, every Wednesday at 12 p.m. New episodes every Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Reaction vids. We got some good stuff coming up. Until next time, we're all saying cheers.
Later.
Bye.